visitors from different countries, and then professors from different universities. Please, it will be good if you adapt the qualification framework such that it will address the issues and the challenges that are facing refugees on how to have skills and how to have quality knowledge that will help us to be a better country in future, not just now, but in future time to come. We are asking IGAD and member states to honestly make sure that we are able to move within IGAD region freely without any visa charge, and then to take it upon themselves to provide students with quality education and chances to join. You know that crises are increasing every day, but we refugees, as we have tested it as something that is not good, we don't pray for our countries to go again through hardships and then like conflicts and all this kind of the thing. We urge IGAD and then the different government in different countries to look into issues of lack of stabilities in security and peace. These are very important things that we needed even if we develop ourselves. Like, take it example, we were some refugees, there were some refugees in Sudan, but because of how the war started again, they have to leave their bases, something that was which was started by organization to them. They have to leave it and go again to another country. You find that when there is no peace and stability, it becomes very, very difficult, and you find a challenge of how to develop the country and how to proceed ahead. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful as you continue to think and organize how to adapt qualification framework and include refugees in education systems. I wish you the best. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, my sister, Mira Musa Nimir. That's a beautiful name. Honorable Minister Peter, we have a very specific message for you and the government of Uganda from the IGAD, that IGAD is very grateful to the government of Uganda for hosting over 1.5 million refugees, and not just hosting them, but treating them with such high humane standards, both in fulfillment of the UN Refugee Convention 1951, but also the Pan-African ideals of brotherhood, of sisterhood. Honorable Peter, please convey that message to the government of Uganda. We are grateful. I would like at this time to invite Professor Omar Kakumba from Makerere University, who represents the IGAD Universities Forum. Welcome, Professor.
Many thanks to you, moderator, the Chief Guest, Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Republic of Uganda, Your Excellencies, the hosts, IGAD, Your Excellencies, IGAD member states, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I want to join the precurrent speaker to appreciate this convening, but also particularly appreciate the effort that IGAD is making towards access to higher education, access to education generally, but also higher education in particular, because I come from the higher education subsector, but also enabling the opportunity for mobility of the human capital across the region. Honorable Minister, on Tuesday I shared with the delegates here that Makerere University has made considerable effort in implementing this framework even before it is launched. And I made the fact to say that Makerere has been a pioneer within the region to reduce on its entry requirements by creating a quota, 5% quota for refugees to access higher education. And Makerere, being a premier university in Eastern Central Africa, that's a great opportunity to open its doors. And also, secondly, Makerere has partnered with the MasterCard Foundation for the next 10 years to create scholarships that are targeting refugees, IDPs, returnees, and host communities. For the next 10 years, 45 million US dollars have been entrusted with Makerere to create this opportunity. So it comes in a way of supporting the implementation of this qualifications framework. But also, we know that students that come for mobility, especially for education, have issues to do with the translation and equation of documents. The university has also created a special desk to enable interaction, quick linkage with the National Council for Education, where you need to do the equation, because these students or foreign students or refugees, when they come, they don't know where to go and how to get their documents equated, okay, to the Ugandan standard. So the desk is there that is providing this opportunity, but also with the UNEB, the Uganda National Examinations Board, to ease again the translation. And also Makerere has established the Center for Languages. Languages, French, English, to help in proficiency, because the language of instruction in higher education sector in Uganda is English, and that creates also an opportunity for granting proficiency tests as they register and enroll on the degree programs or diploma programs. They also have obtained the proficiency in the language of instruction. In that regard, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, I want to appreciate the IGAD Universities Forum. Many professors are here, vice chancellors from the IGAD universities, from Djibouti, from Ethiopia universities, and from Sudan, Kenya, Nairobi. So it's a great opportunity to renew our commitment as Universities Forum in supporting and in adapting the implementation of the framework. I want to stop there and appreciate this moment and this convening. I wish you all the best, and may the good Lord bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor. We appreciate your support, your leadership in advancing education for refugees and all the other forcibly displaced persons. Honorable Minister, it's an honor to invite the representative of IGAD Chair. The representative of IGAD Chair is the Republic of Djibouti, and is Mr. Sheikh Mohammed, to address the meeting. Welcome, sir.
Bonjour tout le monde, Madame, Messieurs. En cette occasion solennelle, je me tiens devant vous au nom du ministre de l'Éducation nationale et de la formation professionnelle, Son Excellence Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, qui malheureusement
to be with us due to his agenda occupied due to the scholarly calendar. I transmit and his refugee children and emphasize
lit intégralement l'allocution de Son Excellence Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoud, qui, au nom de la République de Djibouti, assure actuellement la présidence de l'IGAD. Excellences, Madame, Messieurs les ministres, Excellences, Monsieur le secrétaire exécutif de l'IGAD, Madame la directrice de la division Santé, Développement et Social de l'IGAD, Madame, Messieurs les représentants des partis
and Madam representatives of IGAD states. Allow me first of all to underline the significant progress that have been realized under His Excellency's leadership, the President of Djibouti, in terms of putting to work the engagements that have been discussed in 2017. Since these declarations, my country, Djibouti, has worked tirelessly to strengthen this initiative of quality education for all, especially emphasizing on inclusion and the equality of opportunity. We have invested in the renovation of innovations of education to answer to this query. In terms of the non-schooling of children who are at the age of going to school, we have placed programs of accelerated education and rural education that are very crucial to guarantee that each child, whatever his gender or social economic status, may have quality education. For education in generally, refugees are included in these two programs. Yet we have to double our efforts for our goal, which is universal education for all, including nomads, children who are in marginalized regions. Yet the question of gender is not forgotten because we emphasize on the status of male and females who are represented in this quality of trainings, including professional training. Something important that has been discussed in these 3 days is the necessity of putting in place the framework of qualification, IGAD. Seeing the necessity of this instrument, the Djibouti has committed to develop its own tool that will align with the national to allow the recognition of certificates and the mobility around the IGAD region. Yet, we have many challenges that require a coordinated mobilization of resources, which in terms of the training of the populations that are hosting and even the refugees. We have to have different sources of financing and strengthen partnership with the international community and other partners to strengthen our efforts and help our youth have a better future. Climate change is actually a challenge for our education systems. Catastrophic meteorological events are a threat to our schools, putting in danger the scholarization of our students. Therefore, we should make our schools more resilient to the impact of education, putting in place better structure and using renewable energies, which are resources that are in Djibouti. Finally, I am grateful greatly to the Ugandan Republic to having hosted this 4th conference of IGAD ministries in charge of education, and also for the IGAD in their support of education in the west of Africa. I would also want to thank all the organization for the success of this event of the IGAD countries in charge of this organization, that this will translate to concrete actions. We have complex challenges, yet we also have unprecedented opportunities to change our educational systems and offer a better future for our children. If we double our efforts, we can attain this ambition to include an education of quality for all and thus build prosperous and inclusive and resilient societies for future. I thank you for your attention greatly.
Honorable Minister, the Republic of Djibouti has been a champion of education for refugees and migrants in general. This follows the directive of the heads of state and government summit from the Nairobi Declaration in 2017 March, and the Djibouti Declaration for Refugees that took place in Djibouti, hosted by the Minister of Education by then, Honorable Isma, is the foundation of why we are here today. The government of Djibouti has continued to advance this very important subject and very important practice of education for safety, for protection, regional integration, and prosperity of our region. Honorable Minister, it's the honor of the IGAD Secretariat and member states present here to invite you to address the meeting.
Your Excellencies, the Honorable Ministers present here of Education from the respective IGAD countries, the Director, Health and Social Development, Madame Fasia Alwan, I hope I'm clear with the name, the pronunciation. The IGAD Executive Secretary, the UN representatives, a representative of the government of Germany present here, a representative of the European Union, representative, specifically Professor Umar Kakumba, who is representing the chair of Board of IGAD Universities, representative of the chair, IGAD Djibouti, representative of the refugees who is present here, distinguished guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Before I say or I read a statement given to me, allow me in a special way recognize my humble voter who is a mistress of ceremony. Madam, you're most welcome back home. She's here. Let's clap for her. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, it's indeed a great honor and privilege to welcome you, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, to Entebbe, Uganda. On behalf of the government of Uganda and on my own behalf, I wish to extend warm welcome to you, Your Excellencies and distinguished. I hope you've been feeling at home here in Entebbe. No wonder you can feel the fresh lake of Lake Victoria just beside us. I bring you warm greetings from Mama, the First Lady, and the Minister of Education and Sports, who is unable to be with us but physically due to other critical state duties. She is with us in spirit and has been following all the proceedings of this conference. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, Uganda appreciates IGAD for choosing Entebbe to hold this very historical and memorable conference, which will adopt the IGAD regional qualification framework. We believe the qualification framework will provide opportunities for education and employment among member states. Since the adoption of the Djibouti Declaration in 2017, Uganda played a proactive role in implementing the declaration. Uganda takes pride in being the first IGAD member state to develop multi-year education response plan for refugees and host communities to translate the commitments we made in Djibouti into action. We now have the second EPR that is being rolled out to improve access to education for crisis-affected learners. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, our deliberations over the past 4 days have been underscored the critical role education plays in shaping the future of our nations and the broader IGAD region. The IGAD Regional Qualification Framework offers important insight relevant to our national qualification framework. The process of designing the Uganda Qualification Framework has already started, and we believe we will have it completed as soon as possible. The government of Uganda is committed to institutionalizing the national qualification framework. We call upon IGAD member states, our development partners, to continue working with us in realizing this important objective. As you are aware, qualification frameworks are vital for quality outcomes, regional mobility, comparabilities, and recognition of qualification, as well as access to education, employment opportunities, and of course, improve livelihood. It is therefore very important for member states to develop and adapt the national qualification framework. The beneficiaries will not only be refugees and other displacement affected people, but all citizens of member states. The host communities and the mainstream population at large can benefit a lot. Moreover, qualification framework can help standardize our education system. I therefore encourage my colleagues to advocate for the effective implementation of IGAD qualification framework as a stepping stone for refugee integration, employment opportunities, and sustainable development. Your Excellencies and distinguished delegates, allow me to extend my heart gratitude to each one of you for your invaluable contribution and unwavering commitment to the cause of education. Let us continue to march forward together, guided by the principles of inclusivity, equality, and excellence. As we draw the curtains to this gathering of IGAD ministers in charge of education, I'm filled with a profound sense of optimism and purpose. Together, we can explore avenues for collaboration, shared best practice, and committed to forging stronger bonds of cooperation in education. Our shared vision of the region where every individual has access to quality education regardless of their backgrounds remains steadfast. In a special way, I want to thank you, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, and may all our efforts pave the way for a brighter, more prosperous future for IGAD. Your Excellencies, I want to say this for God and my country. I encourage you to stay around Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Please feel free to move across the entire country. Our policy here is open. So, Your Excellency, honorable colleagues, in a special way, I would like to say, karibuni sana. For those who wish to go back to your respective countries, I wish you journey passes. I say all this on behalf of the Minister of Education and Sports, the First Lady. I thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister Peter Gwang. We are indeed honored to work with you and also send our gratitude to Her Excellency, the First Lady, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, who has been a very gracious host. And we are right here at the blue economy city of Entebbe, next actually to her residence. So we are very, very honored. We are very grateful, Honorable Minister. Now, as I request Sharon to give out the agenda of the ministerial conference to the honorable ministers, and the high table as well, I would like to request the delegate inform you, Honorable Minister, that we have here with us delegations from IGAD member states. Republic of Djibouti, please stand up for recognition. Republic of Djibouti. Republic of Djibouti is the IGAD chair. I would also like to request the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Ethiopia delegation, please stand up. Djibouti, you can sit down. Ethiopia, please stand up. My very good neighbors, Republic of Kenya, please stand up for recognition. Honorable Minister, we have also a delegation from Somalia, Federal Republic of Somalia. Most welcome, Somalia, have a seat. We also have a delegation from South Sudan who has greatly been honored by the Honorable Minister, your counterpart, Honorable Gabriel Chang. You're most welcome. This is home. This is home for you. I would also like to request the delegation from the Republic of Sudan to stand up. Commissioner, you're most welcome. Commissioner, you're most welcome. I would like to request the delegation from the government of Uganda to stand up for recognition. These are your experts and specialists. They've been here the whole week. Thank you so much, Uganda, for hosting us. Honorable Minister, we also have IGAD partners in the room. Can I have IGAD partners? All the IGAD partners who are in the room, all your logos are up, so you'll have to stand up anyway. Please stand up for recognition. Thank you so much for your consistent support to IGAD member states to advance education for all. I would also like Honorable Minister to introduce to you and request them to stand for recognition the IGAD staff. IGAD Secretariat staff, Djibouti and all offices of IGAD. This is the force that's behind every very powerful meeting. My colleagues, thank you so much. Honorable Minister, I would like to request that you're given the agenda of this meeting as well as your colleagues for adoption so that we can proceed to the next segment of our meeting. I would now like to request the officials who are in the ceremony to come down except for the ministers and the staff of IGAD Secretariat. You can stay up, Madam Fatia, Jocelyn, Honorable Ogwang, and you're joined by the ministers from the government of Sudan, South Sudan and the federal government of Somalia. Please, Honorable Minister, join your counterpart at the high table with all your working documents, because we are going to move to the next segment of our agenda. Requesting the representative of the Cabinet Secretary of the Republic of Kenya to also join the high table. Thank you so much. You're most welcome, Republic of Kenya. You can join the high table. We apologize that our podium is quite small, and next time we will make a bigger one. We beg your pardon, Madam CS representative. I would like to draw your attention to the agenda of the meeting. Honorable Ministers, the next session is going to be statements by Ministers of Education of IGAD member states. The Republic of Djibouti, as IGAD chair, will chair this session. And the statements will be read in order, in the alphabetical order from Djibouti to Uganda. After that, we shall finalize and sign the ministerial communique of the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education, and then we shall have a closing ceremony, after which Bob will organize us for a group photo with the honorable ministers. I submit this agenda for official adoption by the IGAD chair, and if it's adopted, I hand over the ceremony to IGAD chair.
C'est bon, c'est adopté.
Republic of Djibouti, I'm requesting you to chair this session.
Adopted.
I stand to second the agenda which has been proposed by the chair with the minister from Djibouti. And it's adopted.
Thank you so much, Chair, Republic of Djibouti. I have been requested to support by calling forward the minister from Ethiopia, government of Ethiopia, or an official representing the minister to read their statement. If we do not yet have that statement, I would like to invite my senior sister from the government of Kenya to read her statement.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony. I stand here to read the speech by the Cabinet Secretary of Kenya, Honorable Dr. Ezekiel Machogu. Executive Secretary, IGAD, distinguished ministers, delegates, IGAD Director of Health and Social Development, IGAD Chair, delegates, partners, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed. It is my honor and privilege to address you all as we conclude the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education. Allow me to express my gratitude to the IGAD Secretariat for organizing this important conference to bring member states together to deliberate on critical issues that affect refugees, returnees, and IDPs in the region. I also appreciate the government of Uganda for hosting this conference in this very exciting town of Entebbe. This conference comes at a wake of escalated conflicts, devastating impact of climate change, and a protracted refugee situation which is impacting our education sector. Kenya extends a warm appreciation to the IGAD countries represented here by the distinguished members, ministers, and delegates for their resilience and commitment to implement the Djibouti Declaration. Despite the severe humanitarian and climate crisis amidst resource constraints in the region, the Djibouti Declaration adopted in 2017 stands as a testament to our collective commitment to ensuring that every child and youth, regardless of their circumstances, have access to quality education. I would like to take a moment to reflect on the milestones achieved by Kenya in implementing the Declaration on Education for Refugees and Host Communities, as well as our steadfast support towards the endorsement and implementation of the IGAD Regional Qualifications Framework. We have made significant strides, particularly in addressing the educational needs of our school-age refugee children since the early 1960s. We have initiatives such as the development of legal and policy frameworks that promote the right to education and lifelong learning for all. We have school feeding programs in our ASAL and refugee schools. We have provision to over 8,000 refugee learners in Kenya to study in our Kenya public secondary schools. We have very active participation of our refugee learners in co-curricular activities and inclusion of the refugee plan in the national country sector. We also quality assure the standards of learning in the refugee schools. We recognize prior learning and placement of the refugees in our TVET and university institutions. All these strides aim at providing inclusive and equitable quality education opportunities to all children, regardless of their nationality or status. During the Global Refugee Forum 2023, the government of Kenya pledged to implement the 5-year costed strategy on refugee and host community education and training, subject to the international community technical and financial support. Furthermore, Kenya has been at the front of advocating for the endorsement and implementation of the IGAD Regional Qualifications Framework Authority. We recognize the importance of harmonizing education systems and qualifications across the region to promote mobility, recognition, and quality assurance. Through our active participation in IGAD conferences, we have contributed to the development of this framework, ensuring that it reflects the diverse needs and contexts of our member states. As we've gathered here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to this important initiative and redouble our efforts towards achieving the objectives. Let us seize this opportunity to share our experiences, exchange best practices, and chart a course for the future of education in the IGAD region. In closing, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the IGAD Secretariat for the important role they play in coordinating member states in the implementation of ensuring quality and inclusive education. To all the delegates gathered here, let us work together towards building a brighter and more inclusive future for the children and the youth of our region. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Republic of
distinguished ministers, delegates, Chief of Guest, Honorable Minister, State Minister for Education and Sports, IGAD Secretariat, Director of Health and Social IGAD, Chairman of IGAD, good morning. All protocols observed. It's an honor to address this esteemed assembly at the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to IGAD Secretariat for organizing this crucial event to renew our commitment, and to our gracious host for their warm hospitality. The theme of this conference, towards quality and inclusion education for all, it's very important to us in Somalia. We believe a strong education system that is both high in quality and inclusive. It's crucial for developing every child's potential and creating a fair society. The government of Somalia is committed to ensuring that no child is left behind, upholding the constitutional right to education for all children within its jurisdiction, including refugees, returnees, ADPs, and host communities. In recent years, Somalia has made a big improvement in the education sector. We have increased the access of education, particularly in the rural and the conflict-affected areas. Thanks to the hard work and help from our international partners, more children are now attending to school, primary and secondary schools. For your information, Somalia is one of the highest less gross enrollment rate of the world countries that have in. We are having 17% of children are going to school. The other 33% of our children are out of schools. Somalia's parliament has officially approved the refugee law, which is currently in the process of being implemented. This law will greatly improve the safety, dignity, and the rights of refugees in Somalia, helping to build more welcoming and strong society. Our collaboration with partners have been instrumental in implementing various education programs. These partnerships have not only provided much needed resources, but have also brought expertise to enhance our educational framework. Despite these advancements, we continue to face substantial challenges. Security issues and climate change effect remain significant barriers to the children. Additionally, we grapple with inadequate infrastructure, teacher shortages, limited resources. Ensuring education for refugees and marginalized groups, including girls, internally displaced persons, and children with disabilities, is an ongoing struggle. To address these challenges, we are focusing on several key areas. To expand and provide quality education for all, we adopted the open door policy for country necessitated for refugee children to freely interact and study with the host children without discrimination. Refugee children are enrolled in publics without asking for any additional cost. Just like the host children, no requirements for papers for admission, which is aligned with the Djibouti Declaration strategy interventions. We are enhancing teacher training and professional development to improve teaching standards. Ministry of Education, Culture and Higher Education has launched National Teacher Initiative in 2020-22. Under this initiative, we plan to recruit and train 10,000 teachers before 2026 in order to increase the access of education to all children. On 2023, we recruited 3,000 teachers, and we are going to recruit again 3,000 teachers in 2024. Our curriculum development initiative aims to align with regional and international standards through developing national qualification framework and being part of IGAD and African qualification frameworks. We emphasize improve our early childhood education to build a strong foundation for a lifelong learning. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, regional cooperation is vital in addressing our common educational challenges. We advocate for harmonized education policies and mutual recognition of qualification across IGAD member states. Sharing best practices and learning from others' experience can be significantly enhance our collective efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, Somalia reaffirms its commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 4, which focuses on ensuring inclusive and equitable equality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all children. We call upon all member states to strengthen their effort towards this universal goal. We appeal our international partners to continue their support and collaboration in order to have sustained investment in education, which is crucial for ensuring long-term development and sustainability in our region. In conclusion, I want to express my optimism about the future of education in IGAD region. By working closely together, we can overcome our challenges and achieve our educational goals. I thank you all for your attention and dedication to improving education. Let us continue this dialogue and conversation. Beyond this conference, we build a brighter future for our children as an inclusive education. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Noura Mustaf Mokhtar, for your statement. The IGAD Secretariat would like to invite the Honorable Gabriel Changson Chang, the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Government of South Sudan.
Thank you, MC, and thanks for pronouncing that difficult name, a Chinese name. Yes, Your Excellency, the guests of honor, members of the High Table, my colleagues, the ministers, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give some remarks as per your theme, quality and inclusive education. Yes, this involves two main things. One, how can the region, the IGAD region, help coordinate its efforts in terms of facilitating the flow, the services to the refugees, and especially education. In South Sudan, we are grateful to our neighbors, Republic of Uganda, Republic of Kenya, Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Sudan, for hosting a very large number of South Sudanese refugees. And these refugees are also advancing their education in these countries. We appreciate that. Equally the same, South Sudan is also hosting a number of refugees. And notably, refugees are brothers and sisters from Sudan, from DRC, and from few neighboring countries. We are also committed to Djibouti declaration of supporting these refugees. And in Sudan, in South Sudan, especially last year, with the crisis in Sudan, a very huge influx of refugees came to South Sudan. Not only refugees, but also returnees, South Sudanese returnees who were in Sudan in spite of the fact that South Sudan got its independence in 2011. So that is a big burden to the government of South Sudan, and we have been trying our level best to enroll those students into our primary, secondary, and university education. It's an obligation. We also, as a recognition of Djibouti declaration, we are mindful that whatever programs we carried out, we must make sure that the refugees are also taken care of. We have a new project which is picking up or taking off. We call it digital agriculture. That digital agriculture is addressing our agricultural sector productivity issues. And that program, we are targeting 3,500 students to learn digital agriculture as a way of improving our agricultural sector, which is the backbone of our economy. And out of that 3,000, we are targeting 500 students from refugee communities as well as host communities. So we make sure that they move along with us. In access to education, the government of the Republic of South Sudan declared last year that the primary and secondary education would be free, with the exception of private schools. This is to give more access to our school children to get enrolled, and especially given the crisis we had in the past years. On the quality side, we are also mindful that education, yes, you have to have quality as well as quantity. But quantity without quality will not take us anywhere. So we are playing a catch-up game as a new nation. We have developed we are developing quality framework system or authority for the country, and this we call it National Qualifications Framework. That project includes starting from primary to secondary and then to the universities. We want to make sure that our certificates are in line with the East African certificates and the continent, so that the movement of our students is secured. Currently, we are finding some difficulties with our immediate neighbors because of certification of certificates. And I think with that quality framework, which the IGAD region is also promoting, we will be in line with you as soon as possible. Not only that, we are also addressing national quality assurance. We want our universities to have sets of standards so that the certificates they are issuing, whether private or public universities, must have a unified standard. And also we are developing that. As usual, resources are always the challenge. And because of that, we want to address this resource challenge by creating what we call a Student Support Fund, which is enshrined in our Constitution. And that support fund will be funded from the government by carving out at least 5% of the national budget to cater for our university development. The South Sudan, as you know, has been in conflict, first with the Sudan and recently with itself. And as such, the services are not as usual, and the government is trying very hard to make sure that a comprehensive peace is brought to the Republic of South Sudan. Yesterday, I flew from Nairobi to come and attend this meeting, and tomorrow I'll go back to Nairobi for the peace talks. South Sudan is always privileged to have good neighbors that comes to its rescue whenever it is in problems. So this time, the Republic of Kenya is hosting that peace talks together with IGAD, Secretariat, and also with Sant'Egidio from Rome. And we are expecting some progress, because with that progress, then peace will come with its dividends. Lastly, I would also urge my colleagues, the ministers of the IGAD region, that South Sudan as a younger nation needs your support, and in support in terms of building our educational capacity. That is in terms of scholarships. South Sudan is getting scholarships from Egypt, very far away, from Morocco, also very far away, Sudan, because of its problems, we could no longer get the 500 they used to give us each year. Thanks to our brothers and sisters in Ethiopia, they are also giving us scholarships. So we call upon, we have two MOUs pending signature. One is with Her Excellency, the First Lady. We negotiated it 2022, and now we agree that that MOU is to be signed. And we hope with the guests of honor and the Minister in Education, we will speed up the signing of that MOU, and probably we will have some scholarships for the students from South Sudan. We have another one with our sister and brother of the Republic of Kenya. It's already worked out, though they did not commit themselves to giving us scholarships. We will also want that MOU to be signed. Many countries are willing to support the Republic of South Sudan, but we are saying that our immediate neighbors, which are our trading partners, Kenya and Uganda, should come forward. We have signed with our brothers and sisters in Rwanda an MOU. We are implementing it, though Rwanda is a very small country, but a very formidable country. We want also to extend those working relationships with them. We know that the bulk of our refugees are in these countries, and they are getting also their education. So please let us urge you to support the Republic of South Sudan. And finally, we are committed to all the declarations of IGAD, whether from Djibouti, Nairobi, Addis, and also this communique which we are going to sign. We are committed to signing it, and we are also committed to implementing it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Gabriel Chang. Thank you for your statement and your commitment as well. Honorable Ministers and distinguished delegates, I would like to invite the Republic of Sudan, if you have a statement. Okay, we do not have a statement from the Republic of Sudan at this point. I would also like then to invite the Republic of Uganda to make a statement.
Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, I made a statement earlier on, maybe for the record and for purpose of emphasis. Number one, first of all, as a country, we believe we have 4 core principles which we work into achieving. And one of it is what I'm going to state here, is the question of Pan-Africanism. No wonder you are aware we host about 1.5 million refugees in our country here. So I want to get onto the record in line with the statement I made earlier, that Uganda takes pride in being the first IGAD member state to develop the multi-year education response plan for refugees and host communities to translate the commitments we made in Djibouti into action. Because of our belief in Pan-Africanism, that makes us put in plan our response to guide on how we should be able to handle our brothers and sisters. Earlier on, when I was discussing with my colleagues, I am happy the experts are here. At one time, we were refugees in most of your countries. And on behalf of the government of Uganda, I want to say thank you for hosting us at that time. And I want you to clap for yourselves. But today, the word refugee needs to be defined, because in my considered opinion, it gives you stigma. It's important as experts who are here, we begin to analyze that word refugee. Do we continue calling your brothers and sisters refugees when we're talking about Pan-Africanism? Our internal contradictions come to a point when we come back to be one. So my message first, for purposes of our commitment into the Djibouti Declaration, is that we are committed in achieving that and we are working in progress. Number two, the government of Uganda has done a lot in the implementation of the education sector plan which we have. If you look at the areas which are hosting refugees, even before our development partners come in to support us, most times we accept all our children of our brothers and sisters who have come to be with us into our schools. We do accept them and they work with us, they study in those respective schools. That is the commitment we in Uganda believe in Pan-Africanism. The other issue which I want to clearly try to underline is that the IGAD Regional Qualification Framework offers important insights relevant to our National Qualification Framework. The process of designing the Uganda Qualification Framework has already started, and we will have it completed as soon as possible. I challenge my technical people here, now that I have made this statement on behalf of the senior minister, I am going to demand that we should again be the first to have this done as soon as possible so that we report to the IGAD Secretariat, because we believe in IGAD as an organization. For the universities, I'm happy professors talked about it, and I want to thank Makerere University, and I call upon all other universities in the region within IGAD, and also call upon the development partners. As Makerere is doing that, can I have Nairobi University do that? Can I have a university in Ethiopia do that? Can I have a university in Djibouti do that? This is the only way we can be able to help our brothers and sisters. So friends, I want to reiterate our call as a country to the issues, the declarations which we signed in Djibouti. For my senior elder from the Minister of Higher Education, I want to confirm, hardly 2 weeks ago, I signed the MOU on behalf of my senior minister with the Minister of Education and Sports for the Republic of Kenya, and I want to confirm my head of state had a 3-day working visit in Kenya, and we are working into those MOUs, making them workable. So I want to take this up with my senior minister, the MOU, which was meant to be signed between the Republic of South Sudan and the Republic of Uganda. I will fast track it so that we communicate when this MOU can be signed. And I call upon all IGAD partner states to cooperate in those MOUs. It helps us improve on our education. I want again to say thank you for coming to Uganda. I wait to sign the communique because my technical people have gone through it and they have advised me and my senior minister to sign it. I say this for God and my country, karibuni sana, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, our guest of honor, for this very important 4th Conference of Ministers in charge of education in IGAD region. At this point, first of all, I would like to thank you, Honorable Ministers, who are with us here, for gracing this occasion and making very loud commitments towards advancing education in our region. At this point, I would like to invite my senior colleague, Dr. Victoria, who's the head of IGAD Social Development Unit, to present the communique to you, honorable ministers and distinguished delegates. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you, Lucy. I recognize the protocol at the high table led by Honorable Ogwang, State Minister for Youth. Protocol remains duly observed. I'm going to read the communique of the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education under the theme Towards Quality and Inclusive Education for All. The IGAD Ministers in charge of education held its 4th Conference on Education for All on the 30th of May 2024 in Entebbe, Uganda, under the chairmanship of Mr. Sheikh Mohammed, representing His Excellency Mustafa Mohammed Mahamoud, Minister of Education of the Republic of Djibouti, and Chairperson of the IGAD Ministers of Education, to follow up the implementation of Djibouti Declaration on Education for Refugees, Returnees, IDPs, and Host Community. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Ayalash Eshte, State Minister for General Education Sector, representing His Excellency Berhanu Niga Bogna, Minister of Education of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Ms. Evelyn Akinyi Owogo, representing Dr. Ezekiel Mashugo Ombaki, Cabinet Secretary of the Ministry of Education of the Republic of Kenya, Her Excellency Noura Mustafa Mukhtar, State Minister of the Ministry of Education, representing Her Excellency Farah Sheikh Abdul Ghadir, Minister of Education, Culture and Higher Education of Federal Republic of Somalia, Honorable Gabriel Shanson Shang, Minister of Higher Education of the Republic of South Sudan, and Honorable Ogwang, Peter Ogwang, Minister of State for Sports, representing Her Excellency Janet Kataha Museveni, Minister of Education and Sports of the Republic of Uganda. Also in attendance, Ms. Fathia Alwan, representing His Excellency Wakini Gabiaho, the Executive Secretary of IGAD, representative from the core partners supporting the implementation of Djibouti Declaration, European Union, Government of Germany, GIZ, UNHCR, UNESCO, UNICEF, as well as youth and refugee representatives. The ministers, recalling the commitment in the Djibouti Declaration adopted on the 14th December 2017, Addis Ababa call for action adopted on 6 December 2018 on refugee education in IGAD region, and communique of 3rd ministerial meeting adopted on 30th of March 2022 in Addis Ababa reiterate the member states' commitment to addressing the educational needs of refugees and including them into the national education system. Recalling relevant national, regional, and international strategies, frameworks, and initiatives, notably the Nairobi Declaration on Durable Solutions for Somali Refugees and reintegration of returnees in Somalia, and its accompanying plan of action. The Kampala Declaration on Jobs, Livelihood, and Self-Reliance for Refugees, the Comprehensive Refugee Response Framework, the IGAD Regional Migration Policy Framework, and the Migration Action Plan, the African Union Agenda 2063 on Education, the 2016 New York Declaration on Refugees and Migrants, the Global Compact on Refugees and the Sustainable Development Goal, notably SDG 4. Recalling the high-level meeting on action for refugee education organized in the United Nations General Assembly in September 2018, which reaffirmed the commitment for inclusion of the refugees into the national education system and ensure quality learning opportunities for refugees, returnees, IDPs, and host community learners. Welcoming the outcomes of the Global Summit on Transforming Education convened by the UN Secretary General in September 2022, which responded to the global crisis in education with a particular focus on equity and inclusion, quality and relevance, heightened by the COVID-19 pandemic. Commending the African Union for committing the year 2024 as a year of education with the theme of Educate and Skill Africa for 21st Century through building resilient education systems for increased access to inclusive, lifelong, quality, and relevant learning in Africa. Reaffirming our collective responsibility to ensure every refugee, returnee, and host community learners, in particular girls, have access to quality education in a served learning environment within our respective countries without discrimination. Reiterating our commitment to accelerating access to inclusive and quality education for all, with a special focus on refugees, returnees, IDPs, and host communities. Alarmed by the ongoing and emerging disruption that conflict, climate change, and displacement have on the education of the population, particularly refugees, returnees, and host communities in IGAD region. Concerned by the ongoing conflict in IGAD member states, particularly Sudan, disrupting the education system and leaving millions of learners out of education at all levels. Concerned by the growing disconnect between education, skills, and labor market needs and the widening digital gap. Emphasizing on the importance of regional qualification frameworks for enhancing access to quality education for girls, women, and other vulnerable groups, including people living with disabilities. Concerned with the silent emergency of out-of-school children as a significant drawback for the attainment of SDG 4 and other interrelated SDGs. Appreciating the progress made on the implementation of the Djibouti Declaration on Education for Refugees, Returnees, IDPs, and host communities, and its 5 key pillars, namely regional education quality, standards, regional skills development, inclusion of refugee education, international education system, accreditation and certification of education programs, and financing, partnership, monitoring in support of refugee education. Recognizing the IGAD comprehensive regional approach and the strong cooperation among member states and partners in the acceleration of inclusive and quality education for refugees, returnees, IDPs, and host communities. Further recognizing the IGAD Secretariat on the adoption of the new IGAD Treaty and note the emphasis on education, science, technology, and innovation. And also appreciating IGAD for adopting the IGAD Regional Youth Policy Framework in September 2023 in Nairobi, Kenya. Do hereby adopt the recommendations of the high-level technical expert session of the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education on the implementation of the Djibouti Declaration on Education for Refugees, Returnees, IDPs, and host communities, held from 27th to 29th May 2024 in Entebbe, Uganda, and commit to accelerate the implementation of these recommendations. Request IGAD to review the IGAD Regional Education Policy Framework and update the TVET strategy for the IGAD region. On the regional qualification framework, adopt the IGAD qualification framework as part of the Djibouti Declaration implementation, urge the IGAD Secretariat to develop a plan of action for the implementation of the IGAD qualification framework, commit to creating a mechanism for mutual recognition and equation of qualifications and micro-credentials across the IGAD region. Task IGAD Secretariat in collaboration with partners to develop standards and guidelines to support the implementation of the IGAD qualification framework. Request the IGAD Secretariat to facilitate training, capacity building, knowledge and experience sharing among IGAD member states towards the implementation of IGAD qualification framework. Commit to develop national qualification frameworks where they do not exist and strengthen implementation of existing frameworks. Urge the IGAD Secretariat to support the efforts of member states in the development and implementation of national qualification frameworks. Task the IGAD Secretariat to establish governance structure and platform for coordination and monitoring the implementation of the IGAD qualification framework. On the regional response to education in emergencies, commit to provide educational opportunities for students in emergency contexts in the IGAD member states. Promote intra-regional mobility of experts in the IGAD region with a particular emphasis on those experiencing forced displacement. Urge institutions of higher learning in the IGAD region with the support of regional and international partners to provide scholarship opportunities for learners in emergencies. On the regional response to out-of-school learners, request IGAD Secretariat, partners and member states to undertake comprehensive studies to generate evidence on the magnitude of the problem related to out-of-school learners in the region. Urge our national, regional, and international partners, including international financial institutions, to invest in education, skills development in general, and bringing out-of-school learners back to school in particular. Commit to promote student enrollment, retention, and completion rates, including through free basic education, including school feeding programs. On the regional response to climate change and education, request IGAD Secretariat, partners, and member states to undertake comprehensive studies to generate evidence on the climate change, education, and development nexus. Commit to scaling up school health and nutrition programs. Urge IGAD Secretariat, partners, and member states to provide enabling environment to respond to climate change. Urge IGAD member states to rethink education curriculum in the context of climate change and indigenous knowledge adaptation. Promote the use of alternative energy in school and educational establishment as a response to the impact of climate change. On the resource mobilization and enhanced partnership for inclusive education, commit to increasing domestic funding for education and putting in place sustainable financing arrangements where required, ensuring accountability and transparency for all, including in line with the commitments made under the IGAD support platform and the Global Refugee Forum. Request IGAD Secretariat, member states, and partners to develop and implement a comprehensive strategy for resource mobilization for quality education at all levels. Task the IGAD Secretariat to coordinate, foster international cooperation for implementation of the IGAD regional education policy. Finally, thank the people and the government of the Republic of Uganda for hosting this important ministerial meeting. We commit to remain actively seized of this matter, done on this 30th day of May 2024 in Entebbe, Uganda, and the undersigned will sign, and I stop here and give the mic back to my colleague, Lucy, to proceed with the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Victoria, and I would also like to thank the experts who have crafted this communique of ministers that will be signed at this 4th conference of ministers in charge of education in IGAD region. Honorable ministers and distinguished senior officials at the high table, I would like to request you to take your seats at the plenary side so that we can now sign the communique. I would like to ask the press to organize. We shall go systematically. Thank you, honorable ministers, for officiating at the ceremony this far. Now we are going to the actual signing of the communique of the 4th session of ministers in charge of education in the IGAD region. It's the 4th conference, or the fourth sitting of the ministers in charge of education in IGAD region. I would like to call forward my distinguished colleagues, Council Innocent and Sagal, to bring forward the communique. Honorable ministers, we have two copies, which will be originals upon signature. One is in English and one is in French. To present, first of all, the English version to the first minister. We will go systematically, country by country. We are starting with the government of Somalia. Now we have the government of Kenya signing the communique of the 4th conference of IGAD ministers responsible for education in IGAD region, the Republic of Kenya. We have presented the communique to the Republic of Djibouti. The Republic of Djibouti is signing the communique of the 4th conference of IGAD ministers in charge of education. Thank you, Republic of Djibouti. The Republic of Uganda is signing the 4th communique of IGAD ministers in charge of education at this 4th conference of IGAD ministers in charge of education in IGAD region. Thank you, Government of Uganda. IGAD Secretariat is presenting the communique of this fourth conference of ministers in charge of education to the government of the Republic of South Sudan. The Republic of South Sudan is signing the communique. Thank you very much, government of South Sudan. Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we have a signed communique of the fourth conference of IGAD ministers in charge of education in IGAD region. It's my honor now, a guest of honor through you, to invite Her Excellency Madam Fatia to say closing remarks.
Excellency, guest of honor, Honorable Peter Ogwang, Excellencies, ministers from our member state, delegates, our experts, our partners, all protocol observed. Let me once again to thank all of you, and particularly also our ministers, for made us proud, for signing this for declaration of the minister regarding the Djibouti declaration. Excellencies, we have taken note of all your, I will not say concern, but all the speech. But also we are very happy, Excellencies, and also we like to thank that already some of our member states have already championing the Djibouti declaration and implemented, because I don't think that we needed to take time to implement this protocol, and particularly the Djibouti declaration and the qualification. Excellencies, also I've taken note on the issue of the refugees that you have taken, that you have said, yes, refugees are our citizens, and this is why also during your meeting we'll be actually waiting all our member states the implementation of this declaration, and also we're looking forward how we'll be reporting to our head of state how far we went to implement this declaration. I will not take much of you. I know, Excellencies, also you have already taken time to be with us. I would like to thank all of you, I also would like to thank our head of missions, Honorable Minister. Thank you so much. You have, as I say again, repeat, you have made us proud. Thank you so much. And also we hope to see you very soon. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you very much, Excellency Madam Fatia. Thank you for steering this very important milestone in the region. One more time, I think she deserves a very loud hand clap. I would also like to invite the Republic of Djibouti, the chair of IGAD, to give you a farewell remark. Karibu.
Excellences, Madame, Messieurs les ministres, honorables invités, tout grade. La quatrième touche à sa fin, donc nous.
I would like to address deeply the gratitude of all the authorities of Uganda that have received us greatly in this very interesting conference, and I sincerely thank the government of Uganda once more. Afterwards, I thank also sincerely the IGAD, all the experts of IGAD, and for the preparation of this conference. It is very interesting that this communique that we have just signed has captured everything that was done since the third conference till today, and it is very, and we are grateful for all the organizers and congratulations to them, all those who have organized. Let us appreciate them. So for the rest, I shall let the responsible ones of IGAD, who shall continue with that. We thank all the organizations involved, and congratulations to everybody. Thank you very much.
Appreciate your continued commitment to support both the Secretariat and IGAD member states to advance the Djibouti Declaration on Education. Our guest of honor, we have a small ceremony again for you to officiate in. Would like to invite you and all your colleagues at the high table to come back, and you're going to hand over the communique to the IGAD Secretariat for implementation. You will also hand over the regional qualifications framework, and also your colleagues will hold copies, and this is symbolic. We are moving forward with the implementation, but also we would like to take a memorable picture of you officiating in this very important event. So a guest of honor, I would like to call you forward with your entire delegation, Her Excellency Madam Fatia, Jocelyn, the honorable ministers, and Republic of Djibouti representative, and also the representative of the Cabinet Secretary, and the minister from Somalia. Yes. This will now be a standing ceremony, and I would like to request Madam Fatia to stand next to the Honorable Minister, Peter Ogwang, to receive the communique from him for implementation. She receives the communique from him for implementation. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. The Secretariat will continue to commit itself to supporting and convening member states on the implementation of the Djibouti Declaration and all its instruments. We have another very memorable picture there. We we are also presenting the regional qualification framework to the Honorable Minister. This marks the official validation of the regional framework by the ministers at the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Another very memorable picture right there with our ministers and officials of IGAD Secretariat. Now, I would like to request the heads of delegations of IGAD member states to join the high table for a photo. Republic of Sudan, Commissioner, please join the podium. The ministers can move a little in front while the officials will join you at the back. Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, please. Actually, now we're even creating more space. Please, delegates, join the photo. Uganda, the University Forum, the universities, actually all the universities represented, please come and join the photo. We have enough space. IGAD partners, GIZ, IGAD staff. May I have silence in the room, please, so that you'll hear what I'm saying. Please stand at the back. Let's fix ourselves as much as possible. Dr. Kebede, the pillar of this declaration is right here. I think we have more space. Thank you very much. I would like to invite my very senior brother, the Honorable Peter Gwang, to the podium one more time so that he can officially close the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers of Education and also wish us safe journey. Honorable Peter, please come to the podium.
Thank you very much, Mistress of Ceremony. I would like in a special way once more and once again to thank the IGAD Secretariat for the work well done. I want to thank my colleagues, ministers of education from our respective countries within the IGAD region. I want to take this opportunity to officially close the 4th Conference of IGAD Ministers in charge of education, closed here in Entebbe, Uganda. I wish you all the best on your safe journeys back home. I thank you.
Please all arise for the anthems in reverse order.
Victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky. Let us make Africa
Please remain standing as the honorable ministers walk out first. Honorable ministers, karibu. The IGAD Secretariat invites you for a very beautiful lunch by the waterside. Everyone stay standing and see the honorable ministers first go out. Thank you very much, distinguished delegates. The IGAD Secretariat appreciates all of you and celebrates you and invites you for a very beautiful lunch. Please, karibu, karibu sana, and enjoy the blue economy city of Entebbe. Have a very safe journey back home, and God bless you.